Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining us. We are in GC 365. We've been taking a look at the 1 year Bible, and we're going through day by day by day, pointing out what stuck out to us and what are the things that we're looking at and what we're struggling with. And I've been reading the 1 year Bible for, I think, 5 or 6 years now.
Wow.
And every single time it's like, okay, that's new. Like
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
When did they put that in there?
Yeah.
that's in this
Who
year's.
rewrote the
Who
Bible
rewrote
this year?
Yeah.
Who did it?
Yeah. So we've been reading through this though, and yeah, it's every single time. So thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Pastor Kyler. I'm the associate pastor at our Woodinville campus. And then this is Kara. She is our kids pastor at the Woodinville campus. And I invited her. You'll see why later, because I have a specific question for her just from the reading. I'm like, shoot, I need Kara.
Yeah.
Mostly because I want to see how she feels about it.
Yeah.
So today we are in day 29 of the 1 year Bible. Hopefully that you're caught up and you're hanging along with us. It's easy when it's in January.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, great.
Wait till March. Like wait till March you get in kind of like some of the harder ones. And like that's the thing that I like about this format is that like when you get to March, when you're going through Leviticus and all these like, or when you go to Job and his horrible friends, then you're like, give me something good. Oh yes, there's the New Testament.
Yeah.
And then even then, if they're both like, that's why they do it. If they're both like a little dry, then it's like, okay, well, at least the Psalms are going to be
here's
good.
like a beautiful Psalm.
Yeah. And then and Proverbs are always wisdom nuggets, no matter what. So you're always going to get something with the 1 year Bible. Today though, today's easy.
Yeah.
I think today's easy because Exodus is always very easy and it's very fun to read through. But the part that we're in Exodus right now, we're in the plagues. We're deep.
Terrifying.
We're so deep in the plagues right now. So here, I just wanted to list off. This is in Exodus chapter 8 and chapter 9. I want to list off the plagues that we go through right now.
It's making me sweat.
I know.
It's terrifying.
The plagues of frogs, the plague of gnats, the plague of flies, the plague of the livestock, the plague of festering boils.
No.
Not just boils. Festering
boils. Ew.
I wonder what the Hebrew word is for festering.
I don't know.
I'm not looking it up.
No.
Hail. And then hail is the last plague that they talked about in today's reading. Here's the things that stuck out to me in the Old Testament. This whole time, like Moses is having this interaction with the Pharaoh, and he's trying to get a couple things done. And it's funny. I thought the whole time it was just about let my people go, let my people go, let my people go. But like I was reading and it wasn't all just that. There was actually a couple times where he was saying, hey, it's not just that. Me and my people, we need to go out and we need to pray and we need to go make sacrifices to the Lord. And so there's this whole dialogue back and forth between Moses and Pharaoh. And so that was the plague of the flies.
Yes.
So he's saying, hey, we need to go do this. And for that plague, God spared the area of Goshen because that's where like all of God's people were. Whereas before, like a lot of these,
it was everywhere.
Everybody and everywhere. But God was like, hey, since you're going out a little bit, we're going to spare this area. Here's the other thing about the plagues is I noticed like with the frogs and with the gnats, it keeps on bringing up these magicians. This is the part that I struggle with.
Yeah.
Like I full blown struggle with because anytime or not anytime, with certain times, some of these plagues, like God would tell Moses, hey, this is going to happen. And then the Pharaoh's magicians would also do the same thing.
Yes.
How do they do that?
I don't know.
Like they do not have the Lord on their side.
No, they do not have the Lord, but they have the devil.
They have I know. That's exactly
so
why.
He was like, oh, I heard what God said. Great. I'm going to give you this momentary moment to do this exact thing to try to cut down what God is doing.
You know what I think? Because so it happened with the frogs. It happened with the frogs. And with the frogs, it said that the magicians were able to do it too. But also in my mind, I'm like, well, the frogs are literally everywhere. And what if the magicians were like, look, us too?
Or just like had them hiding like in their robes or whatever. And then we're like, here are
but then
all my frogs.
When you got to the gnats, the magicians couldn't do it.
No.
For one reason or another, like it says specifically, like the magicians could not do it.
Because they didn't have God on their side.
Yeah, I know.
That's why.
So I want to know, make sure you put in the comments for me, which one of these would you least like to go
least
through?
Favorite one?
Yeah, look at the list. Festering boils. I can tolerate frogs. I can tolerate
frogs
bugs.
are fine. I just hate flying winged like things.
What's worse, gnats or flies?
Flies.
Flies?
Because gnats are like smaller and way easier to kill. But flies are like, and I just envision like horse flies.
Yeah,
these
the
like
big
giant things.
They come up,
that
look
are
at your
just
face,
like,
say, "Dang, you're ugly," and then just keep on flying.
Like,
Yeah, no. Yeah, I would
No, I
festering
couldn't do
boils
it.
for me. That just sounds like uncomfortable.
yeah, it sounds
and painful.
uncomfortable. I
Yeah.
get, but like, I feel like I can handle it.
I could handle it
I
either
handle
way.
childbirth. I can handle
Okay.
a festering boil.
I didn't handle
Yeah.
childbirth. So I want to talk New Testament though now.
Okay.
So Matthew 19 is where we're at in the New Testament, and it's also, this is why January is easy. You're in the Gospels, like you're hearing from Jesus himself, and like you see those points. Like if you're reading in your app, there's certain letters that are read. Those are the words that like Jesus himself spoke.
Yes.
Right. These are like coming out of the mouth of Jesus. And that's what makes it so good, so juicy. I'm gonna like skip a part,
Yeah.
go to the next part, and we'll come back to the part that I'm skipping. Okay.
Okay.
So somebody came up and asked Jesus, basically point blank, "How do I get to heaven?"
Right.
He's like, "How do I get eternal life?" And I've always kind of wondered, like, what is motivating this guy? What's making it, like, is he self-centered? Is he just like, "Hey,
How do I do this?
How do I just get by?" Is kind of what I thought. I've had so many similar conversations with people where people ask like, "So what do I need to do?" And it's like, it's not so much about like the list of things not to do. It's not about the list of things not to do. It's not about how can I toe up to the line without crossing it.
Yes.
Like that really is like, where is your heart when that's happening? Like, why do you want eternal life?
Right.
Are you wanting eternal life because that sounds so much better than hell?
Yeah.
or which you're correct.
I mean, granted,
Granted,
you're not
right.
wrong.
You're not wrong. Eternal life is better than eternal death. But like,
but
also,
where's your motivation?
Yeah, and maybe should your motivation be like, no, I love my God so much.
Right.
Like he's giving me everything. He's given me life. He loves me. He knows everything about me.
And not like the least amount of things I can do or act or whatever.
So here's the funny part though, is that he asked Jesus, and Jesus gives like a pretty straightforward answer. He asks him, "What do I do?" And he says, "Follow the commandments." And he says, "Cool. Which commandments?" And then Jesus rattles off a list. He said, "Don't murder. Don't commit adultery." Also good.
Yeah.
"Don't steal.
Also
don't
good.
lie."
Yep.
And then do honor your father and mother.
That's right.
And do love your neighbor as yourself. And here's another question I always have. What about the other commandments?
Yeah. See, oh gosh, I don't know.
There's so many more.
There are so many more.
There's so many more commandments.
You're right.
Like, what about coveting? So do we get a pass? Like, do we just get a free pass?
I mean, yes.
I don't know. It'd be nice. I really don't know. And then, but also
that's like a Jesus question.
That's a Jesus question. My mom said so much. I asked those questions when I was a kid. I'm like, what about this? What about this? She's like, well, just ask him when you get there.
Yep, my parents said the same thing.
But that's like such an odd, it's such an honest answer though. Just like when you get there, ask the Lord your God.
Right.
I always wonder what about the other commandments, but also like,
I don't know.
and then what about like not just the 10 commandments, like because I mean, there's also don't have no other God before me.
Right.
Don't make any idols. Like these are things important. That we absolutely hold on to now. And part of me wonders if Jesus is really just saying like, listen, like the commandments, you know them. Like, here's a few of them. I don't need to read the book of Leviticus to you right now.
Yeah.
But follow the commandments. But then he also added in love your neighbor. Like, which was something, I mean, that's summed
hard.
up. That's hard. And that sums so much of it up. And here's the next part. Here's the part that I skipped over. This is the part where I'm like, I need Kara right now. And it's because I know how I feel about it. It's when Jesus was there teaching, and then a bunch of parents came and brought their children to Jesus so that Jesus could bless them. And the disciples said, go away.
Yeah.
Like, leave. Don't bother him.
Yeah.
Here's the part that I want to ask you. Does that make you mad?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because I envision like myself bringing my three kids to Jesus and having his disciples be like, go away.
Hold on. Yeah, you can't. Don't cross the velvet rope.
Right. Like, I'd be like, excuse you?
Here's the part that's so good. And I mean, obviously Jesus answered it perfectly because he
Yes.
is the Son of God. But
Right.
he said, let the children come to me. And he said, the kingdom of heaven is for those like these children. He wasn't just saying like, hey, the kingdom of heaven is for these children. It's for those like these children. It's the whole idea of having a childlike
faith. Yep.
which I struggled with when, in Bible college too. It was like, is this a childlike faith? I'm trying to like dive in and understand, like, and some of it's too, like my love of God makes me want to dive in.
Yes.
Makes me want to understand more.
Yes.
How can you have a deep knowledge of God and a deep knowledge of the Bible, but still have a childlike faith?
See, I feel like it's two separate things, like a deep knowledge of the Bible as a book and a resource, and a childlike faith, almost like, I don't want to say blindly walking in faith, but blindly walking in faith.
Yeah.
Jesus isn't here on earth. We can't see God. Those are the moments in between those things where you know he's there, where they're not coincidences ever. Yeah. It's a God thing.
It's a total God thing. And
I think that's the difference.
Here's the phrase that I think of, which I've just heard over time, whether it was at our church or not. The sermon's not deep enough. Like, why is, if you could just, and nobody's ever said that about my sermons, but yes, they have. But somebody says that, and I've always like kind of wondered, so do you want it to go over your head, or is it like, where is your childlike faith?
Yeah.
Where is just trusting God? And I think what it comes down to is we don't have to have all the answers.
No. And we also don't have to have profound moments all the time.
No. And it's so much is like, you know what? I don't understand, but I trust God.
Right.
I trust God.
And I think that's it.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
And people just over analyze and overdo it.
Spin it up in their heads. Yeah. Yeah.
Silly human brains.
I really think that's our application for today too. Is that, man, when you feel like you don't have the answer, you know what? I'm giving this one up to God, and be okay with either saying yourself or telling your children.
Yeah.
Ask them when you get up there.
Right.
I want that as a tattoo.
Oh, okay.
Ask them when you get up there.
Ask them when you get there.
Yeah. So, hey, thanks so much for joining us, you guys. Thank you for joining me.
Of course.
I just wanted to see you get angry about that one part. So, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have an amazing, blessed day.